So we finally have the official trailer for Grand Theft Auto 6. It's sad that Rockstar Games had to launch their trailer early because of the leak, but we have it now. And Lucia, one of the main characters, really stands out. While the game remains cloaked in secrecy until its 2025 release, glimpses from the official trailer and leaked information offer some interesting clues about who Lucia is and what we can expect from her as we navigate the streets of Vice City. And we'll be talking about those in this video. To start with, many people online have been talking about how Lucia is the first female GTA protagonist, but that's not exactly true. When the game was first launched back in 1997, there wasn't just one, but 4 female protagonists. Divine was of African descent, Katie was of Hispanic descent, Mickey was of Asian descent, while Eureka was probably of Scandinavian descent. However, for whatever reason, subsequent releases skipped the female protagonists altogether. So while Lucia is not the first ever female protagonist, she's still pretty iconic for being the first in 26 years. Or 28 if you consider that GTA 6 will be launched in 2025. That said, it has to be mentioned that the original 4 female characters weren't exactly distinct from the male characters. They were featured back in the 2D era, and the only difference between them and their male counterparts was their pixelated pants and hair. Their gender had absolutely no influence on the gameplay. So you could say that Lucia is Rockstar's first time doing the female protagonist right. However, there's more to Lucia's iconicity than that. Lucia is Latin American, only the second in the GTA series, and based on the trailer, she starts out the game in incarceration. We have no idea why she is behind bars in the first place because the trailer doesn't show. But in conversation with someone, whom some people think might be a parole officer, she claims that her incarceration was just due to bad luck. This might be Rockstar's way of establishing her connection to the criminal underworld, which is kind of a fresh take of a familiar theme in GTA. In the key art for GTA 6, Lucia is pictured wearing an ankle tag, which has to mean that she is on parole, at least for the beginning of the game. And if she is on parole, players would likely be confined to a limited location in the game for the duration of the parole, which again is not unusual for GTA. They literally blocked off some areas of Vice City in 4 due to terrorism. So her parole might be their way of making some areas of the city inaccessible for a while. While we have no idea how long she'll be on parole, if she actually is, and how long those limitations will last. But it's still early days. People have been making guesses though about how Lucia's prison arc will be played out. Some people have suggested that Lucia's incarceration would form the prologue, and then the main gameplay would see her on parole. Others have suggested that there might be a couple of missions with Lucia still in prison. Both of these seem plausible if you know anything about GTA, but I want to hear what you think in the comments section below. Meanwhile, while Lucia appears solo in the opening shot, she is definitely not the only protagonist in GTA 6. The official pictures show her with her arms wrapped around a young man that looks to be African American. So it's safe to say that she will meet and become romantically involved with this guy at some point, assuming that they were not already romantically involved before she went to prison. Rockstar hasn't announced the name of the guy, who is the only other main character by the way, and we have no idea when he will join the story or what exactly his role will be. But from the leaks, the most we know about the guy is that his name might be Jason. We can assume that there will be a Bonnie and Clyde-esque dynamic between the two, just because of the dynamics of the game and the fact that Lucia is in prison at some point. And this potentially sets the stage for a narrative rich in collaboration and romantic tension, a departure from the often solitary experiences of previous GTA protagonists. From the trailer, we know that Lucia is really keen on this relationship, whatever it really is, because she talks about how sticking together and being a team is the only way for them to get through whatever difficulty they are facing. She is also the driving force of their various criminal ventures, if the trailer is anything to go by, as she is the one mostly heard calling the shots. There's no telling whether the two will remain together forever though. There are many directions that Rockstar can take this relationship, and all of them don't have to end happily ever after. In fact, it would be really interesting if the player had to choose between these two being lovebirds or having them fight each other at some point. But I guess we'll find out when the game actually launches. From the trailer though, it would seem like Lucia and Jason had quit the crime scene at some point, probably about the same time that Lucia landed in prison. However, something prompted them to return to crime, something that the trailer does not elaborate on. Some people think it could be because they're trying to gather some money to leave town, while others think that they might be trying to avenge somebody. I want to hear your theory on this in the comments section below. Something else that can be ascertained about Lucia from the trailer is that her moral compass heavily revolves around trust. When she talks to Jason about having to stick together, she also specifically mentions trust, which is then echoed by Jason.
Trust?
Trust.
Considering the emphasis they seem to be placing on this, it could be that they are trying to build up to a loss of trust or something. That would be an interesting angle to explore if you think about it. Now, it has to be mentioned that Lucia's Latina heritage is visually apparent, which is a first for a main character in the series. Sure, there has been another Latin American, but Lucia is the first Latin American whose heritage you can automatically clock without having to read her bio. What we don't know right now, though, is whether her being a Latina would come into play at some point during the game. Meanwhile, Rockstar hasn't yet shared information on who would be portraying Lucia. There have been a few theories though. One prominent was proposed by Redditor user RayStrifeX on the GTA subreddit. According to this Redditor, the leak suggests that GTA 6 was based on the 2012 film The Place Beyond the Pines, featuring Ryan Gosling and Eva Mendes. As a result, they think Lucia might be played by Eva Mendes, which would make sense considering that Lucia is a Latina. However, bear in mind that Rockstar hasn't yet said that Eva Mendes voiced Lucia, and there's actually no solid evidence to believe that she did. Like with many things about Lucia, we're just gonna have to wait until we get more information, or until the official launch of the series. All in all, while the trailer really is exciting, it offers more questions than answers about Lucia. What landed her in prison? What draws her to a life of crime? What drives her ambitions and motivates her choices? How exactly will her relationship with Jason play out? These open threads are what build anticipation, making players eager to delve into Lucia's world and uncover the secrets she holds. As more information drops about Lucia, you can rest assured that we'll share all of that with you on this channel. So make sure that you're subscribed and click the notification bell so that you know when we drop the next video.